Welcome to online study on Criminal Procedure Code. Let us discuss the provisions of section 94 of the Criminal Procedure Code. What it provides: search of places suspected to contain stolen property, forged documents, etc. Who can issue search warrant in such cases? If a place there is a suspicion that that place is used for deposit of full document, etc., stolen property, objectionable articles, then who can issue a search warrant? This provision, section 94, provides that only district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, and magistrate first class can issue search warrant. What it provides: if a district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate of the first class, upon information and after such inquiry, not only simple information is not enough. District magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate first class, upon information and such inquiry, as he thinks necessary, has reason to believe, who has reason to believe? That the district magistrate has reason to believe, or sub-regional magistrate has reason to believe, or magistrate first class has reason to believe. On the basis of what? On the basis of information and making such inquiry as he thinks necessary. Reason to believe that any place is used for the deposit or sale of stolen property. First, deposit of stolen property or sale of stolen property. So far as stolen property, deposit stolen property or sale of stolen, or for the deposit, sale, or production of an objectionable article to which this section applies. What is objectionable? What are the objectionable articles? A list has been given in subsection 2. A place is used for deposit, sale of stolen property, or the deposit, sale, or production of objectionable articles to which this section applies, or that any such objection article is deposited in any place. Such deposit objection article. What are the objection articles? Those are mentioned in subsection 2. So, who may issue a search warrant? He may issue by warrant authorize any police officer above the rank of constable. What for? To enter with such assistance as may be necessary required such place. Enter into such place with such assistance as may be required. To search the place in the manner specified in the warrant, not only enter into that place and to conduct search as per the search warrant, to take possession of any property or article therein found which is reasonably suspected to be stolen property. If that officer finds that any article which is reasonably suspected, or property or article which is reasonably suspected to be stolen property, to take possession, or objectionable articles to which the section applies, to convey such property, or to carry such property or article before a magistrate, to take such property or article to magistrate, or to guard the same on the spot until the offender is taken before a magistrate. That means authorizing, directing that police officer above the rank of constable to guard that property on the spot until the offender is taken before a magistrate, or otherwise to dispose of it in the same place of safety, or to keep that property in safety. E. To take into custody and carry before a magistrate every person. Not only that a person simultaneously in the search warrant, a direction may be given, that person authorizing to take any person who is found in such place into his custody, who appears to have been privy to the deposit, sale, or production of any such property, who is a party to this deposit, sale, or production of any such property or article, knowing or having reason to cause to suspect to be stolen property, or as the case may be, objectionable article to which this section applies. Now, section 94. Who can issue a search warrant for that means for a place which is suspected to contain stolen property, forged documents, etc., or objectionable articles. So this district magistrate or sub-regional magistrate or magistrate first class, on getting information that a particular place is used for deposit of stolen articles or sale of stolen articles, deposit, production or sale of objectionable articles, or deposit, sale or production of of any such articles, objectionable articles, or that place is used for deposit only, that is for keeping any objectionable articles. Then in such case, such district magistrate or sub-regional magistrate or the magistrate first class may issue a search warrant, may issue a warrant authorizing a police officer above the rank of constable to enter such place, to conduct search in the manner as provided in the search warrant, to take possession of the articles, objectionable articles or stolen property, and also to keep custody and to take that person into before the magistrate, or to guard the same on the spot until the offender is taken before a magistrate, otherwise to dispose of someplace, to take into custody and carry before a magistrate the person. This is the provision. Now, what are the objectionable articles? A list of the articles which are objectionable articles that has been provided in first counterfeit coin. Counterfeit coins is objectionable articles. Second, pieces of metal made in contravention of the Metal Token Act after Sonanumi. Pieces of metal made in contravention of Metal Token Act are brought into India in contravention of the notification for the time being in force under section 11 of the Custom Act. That is pieces of metal. Then counterfeit currency notes, counterfeit stamps, false documents, false seals. These are all objectionable articles. Obscene objects referred to in section 292 of the Indian Penal Code. Instrument or material used for the production of any of the articles mentioned in clause A to F. All those are objectionable. The list is mentioned, that is objectionable. Now, section 95 is a provision which empowers the state government for forfeit copy of the documents or copy of the newspaper which contain any materials which It contains that is where any newspaper or book or any document, wherever it is printed, appears to the state government. What it appears? That publication contains any material which is punishable under section 124A, that is seditious matter. 153B, what is 153B? You see, that is bringing, that is 153B, that is imputation, assertion, prejudice in national integration, that contains any imputation or assertion affecting national integration. Then 292, obscene materials. 293 also, that is sale, etc. of obscene objects to young persons. 293. Or on section 295A, that is bringing enmity between two religion. 295, maliciously insulting the religion or the religious belief of any other class. Those documents, those newspaper or those book contain. Then the state government may, by notification, state government appears to the state government. So in such case, the state government may, by notification stating the grounds of the opinion, why the state government is an opinion, that how that book, that newspaper or that document contain all such materials which are punishable under section 124A, 153B, 292, 292, 93, 295A. Grounds of such opinion, declare. What declare? That every copy of the issue of the newspaper containing such matter and every copy of such book or other document to be forfeited to government. Who can pass order? The state government. When? Wherever it is printed. Even it is printed outside the particular state. That the state government is opinion. State government that is of opinion that on the grounds mentioning that such book, document or newspaper contain any such material. So in such case, first to declare that such every copy of such document, such newspaper, such that means book will be forfeited. Then thereafter, after such declaration is made, thereupon any police officer may see the same wherever found in India. Once the state government declares that the copy of such newspaper, copy of such book or copy of such document is to be forfeited. For what reason? On the ground that it contain any publication which are punishable under these provisions of the IPC, like 292, 293, 124A, 153B, all these things, all those sections. After such declaration is made that it to be forfeited to the government, thereupon any police officer may see the same wherever found in India. After such forfeiture has been made by the state government, then it will be lawful for the police officer, every police officer. Thereupon any police officer may see the same wherever that copy is found. And any magistrate may warrant, authorize any police, not only that, any magistrate may by order authorize any police officer, not below the rank of sub-inspector, not below the rank of to enter upon any such place for the search for the same in any premises where any copy of such issue or any such book or other document may be or may be reasonably suspected to be. So now, Section 95 authorizes the state government to forfeit the copy of every copy of newspaper, every copy of document, every copy of book which contains any publication, which is punishable under the provisions of Section 124, the sedition, 153B, that is bringing enmity, that is 292 obscene materials, etc. So once such forfeiture has been made, then it will be lawful. Then every police officer, any police officer may seize every copy of such document, such newspaper, etc. And not only that, any magistrate may authorize
issue a search warrant for search of a place wherever to find out such publication for the purpose of taking possession. In this section and in section 96, 96 is a provision. What it provides? Any person being aggrieved with the order of the state government for forfeiture of the publication of that newspaper on the ground that such newspaper, such book, or such document did not contain any such material, but it was illegally forfeited. So in such case, he can prefer an appeal before the High Court. Then this one such an appeal has been preferred, that is to be heard at least if it is a content, the High Court consists of judges of 3 and more, that must be heard by at least by 3 judges. Such a provision is there, 96. So what is section 96, newspaper and book? In this section and in section 96, what is newspaper and book? That is to be same meaning as per the Press and Registration of Books Act 1867. Then document includes any painting, drawing, or photograph or other visible representation, printing. No order passed or action taken under this section shall be called in question in any court when the state government passes such order for forfeiture of a copy of such newspaper, document, or any book on the ground that it contained any seditious matter or objectionable, that is obscene matters, or bringing any enmity between two groups or affecting national integration, then such order cannot be challenged in any court, in any civil suit, etc., otherwise than in accordance with the provision of section 96. What section 96 said? Application to High Court to set aside declaration of forfeiture. State government declares that every copy of such newspaper will be forfeited. Then any person having any interest in any newspaper, book, or other document, any person who has an interest in such book, document, or book, this newspaper, in respect of which a declaration of forfeiture has been made under section 95 by the state government, may within 2 months, time limit is 2 months, within 2 months from the date of publication in the official gazette of such declaration, that the forfeiture, fact of such forfeiture will be published in a official gazette within 2 months from the declaration of forfeiture, apply to the High Court to set aside such declaration. You will make an appeal. That is an apply to the High Court. It is not an appeal, or simply an application is to be made to the High Court to set aside such declaration. On what ground? On the grounds that the issue of the newspaper or the book or other document in respect of which the declaration made did not contain any such matter as is referred in subsection 1 of section 95. Only on the ground that the copy of such, that newspaper, that book, that document did not contain any matter which is punishable as for the under section 292, 293 as provided in subsection 1 of section 95. So every such application shall, where the High Court 3 or more judges, suppose the High Court consists of 3 or more judges, such application will be heard and determined by a special bench of the High Court composed of 3 judges. When the High Court consists of more than 3 judges, 3 judges and more, so that will be heard by a bench of 3 judges, and if the High Court consists of less than 3 judges, suppose the High Court consists of less than 3 judges, the entire bench, 3 judges, and where the High Court consists of less than 3 judges, such bench shall be comprised of all the judges of the High Court. That means all 2 judges. So on the hearing of any such application with reference to any newspaper, any copy of such, when such application is to be heard by the High Court, the copy of such a newspaper, copy of such book, a copy of such document will be produced before the court to find out whether such newspaper or document contain any such matter. So on the hearing of any such application with reference to any newspaper, any copy of such newspaper may be given in evidence in aid of the proof of the nature or tendency of the words
sites, or visible representation contained in such newspaper. So that may be given in evidence before the High Court that it did not contain any such matter, of which the declaration of perpetual of the High Court shall, if it is not satisfied, suppose the High Court is not satisfied that such book, such newspaper, such document contain any publication which is punishable as per section 124A, 292, 93, 153B, or 295A of the Indian Penal Code, then the High Court may vacate in respect of which the application has been made, containing any such matter as is referred to in subsection of section 90, set aside the class. High Court may set aside. Where there is a difference of opinion, suppose there is a difference of opinion among the judges forming the special bench. Special bench, you know, the bench will consist of 3 judges. If the bench is, the High Court consists of more than 3 judges. If it is less than 3 judges, then the bench will consist of all the judges, that is, all 2 judges. Less than 3 means 2 judges. So, if there will be a difference of opinion, the decision shall be in accordance with the opinion of the majority of those judges. Now, section 97 and 98 are very 2 important provisions. Sometimes a question may come, is there any provision in the Criminal Procedure Code for obtaining a writ like habeas corpus? You know, habeas corpus is late bodily present. Section 97 says that also authorizes the magistrate, sub-regional magistrate and district magistrate to pass order like a writ of mandamus, then a writ of habeas corpus, not mandamus, writ of habeas corpus. That is production of somebody in body before him. What section 97 says? It is it is alternate to the similar to the writ of habeas corpus. Writ of habeas corpus. What section 97? What is the difference between section 97 this and writ of habeas corpus before the High Court? You should understand. In section 97 provides, whenever, if any district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate of the first class has reason to believe that any person is confined under such circumstances. First, confinement is there. The district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate first class has reason to believe that a person is confined under such circumstances, that such confinement amounts to an offence. Only in such case, issue a search warrant, and the person to whom such warrant is directed, if a search warrant is issued, then the person to whom such warrant is directed may search for the person. So, only when the district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate first class has reason to believe. What reason? To believe that any person is confined in a circumstances. In such circumstances, that confinement amounts to an offence. In such case, such magistrate may issue a search warrant directing the police to conduct search and to find out that person. And if that person is found out, he will be brought to the magistrate. May search for the person so confined, and such search shall be made in accordance therewith. Accordingly, search will be made, and the person, if found, shall be immediately taken before a magistrate, who shall make such order as in the circumstances of the case seems proper. If such person is found, such person will immediately taken to the magistrate, and magistrate will make such order as the case, circumstances of the case seems. Section 97. But in writ of habeas corpus, when a person is illegally detained, the Honorable High Court or the Supreme Court can also issue a writ of habeas corpus for release of that person. But in section 97, such a power is available to the district magistrate, is given to the district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate first class. Only for search and search of a place, search of the person, and to release of that person. When that person is detained in such a circumstances, confined, detained is not proper word, confined in such a circumstances, that such confinement amounts to an offence. In such case, search warrant may be issued by such magistrate for search of taking from bringing that person for search of a place and to release of that person. That is section 96. And not only release, and to bring that person to the magistrate. And thereafter the magistrate will pass such order as he seems proper in the case. But in case of habeas corpus writ, when a person is illegally detained, that may not be offence. But in such case, such a habeas corpus writ may be issued by the High Court for taking that, for production of that person in body before the High Court. This is because the wider power is given to the Honorable High Court in the nature of habeas corpus for release of a person from illegal detention. But here section 97, when a person is detained or in confined, detention is not proper, detained is not the proper word, confined, in such a circumstances that a confinement amounts to an offence, then such magistrate may issue a search warrant for search of a place, and if that person is found from that place, to bring that person to the magistrate, and thereafter the magistrate will pass such order as is sensible. So you should understand the difference between section 97. It is also in the same nature like writ of habeas corpus, but only it can be exercised by the magistrate, district magistrate, or sub-regional magistrate. Such a power can be exercised only when a person is confined and in a circumstances that such confinement amounts to an offence. I know from my personal experience that in some cases on flimsy ground, section 97 petition is filed before the magistrate for issuing search warrant. Suppose sometimes the husband files a petition for restoration of his wife who is staying in the house of her in-laws, the house of her father. So there, when the wife stays or resides in the house of her father, or if the child stays with her mother, then section 97 may not be applicable, because when staying of the child with the mother will not be treated as confinement under circumstances which amounts to an offence. Only forcibly if somebody is detained somewhere, confined somewhere, then only section 97 is applicable. But if somebody is voluntarily staying somewhere, then confinement doesn't come. Confinement under circumstances which amounts to an offence. Only in such case, section 97 is applicable. But its power of the Honorable High Court in the case of habeas corpus is very wide, which is wider, because any person, wherever it is detained, that is illegal detention. If a person is illegally detained, then the Honorable High Court may issue a writ of habeas corpus for production of that person before the Honorable Court. That is section 97. Section 98 is also similar in nature, like a writ of habeas corpus. What is that? That is when the court is satisfied upon complaint made on oath of the abduction or unlawful detention of a woman or a female child under the age of 18 years for any unlawful purpose. So a complaint must be made. So here complaint may not be there. When many magistrates or so moto is satisfied, complaint is not there in section 97. In section 98 says, upon a complaint made on oath, but such section 97 doesn't provide that on complaint made on oath, search warrant will be issued. On complaint made on oath, but of the abduction or unlawful detention of abducted, by forcibly a woman has been taken, or a child below 18 years has been taken to somewhere, or unlawful detention of woman or child under the age of 18 years. Unlawful detention, again for unlawful purpose. Two requirements. Upon complaint made on oath or unlawful detention of a woman or a child below, or a woman, female child below 18 years for any unlawful purpose. Two of unlawful detention for unlawful purpose. Then the district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate of the first class may make an order for the immediate restoration of such woman to her liberty. This is restoration of abducted female. Upon complaint made on oath before the district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or magistrate first class, that a woman or a child, female child below 18 years is unlawful detained for unlawful purpose, then such magistrate may make an order. What type of order will be made? That for the immediate restoration of such woman to her liberty, or to the lawful charge of such child. That child must be, female child must be given before the lawful charge of her guardian, and may compel compliance with such order using such force as may be necessary. That means for compliance of such order, suppose the court doesn't issue a search warrant here, only the court will pass, the district magistrate, sub-regional magistrate, or the magistrate first class will pass an order that the person, that the woman who is detained unlawfully for unlawful purpose, or a female child below 18 years detained unlawfully for unlawful purpose, should be immediately, if that woman is there, she will be restored to her liberty. If the female child below 18 years, then she will be given in custody of her guardian. And for that, may compel compliance with such order, that if such order is there, to comply with such order, the court may also, the magistrate or the sub-regional magistrate or district magistrate may pass such order, that such order will be complied by using such force as may be necessary. This is section 90. In section 98, court doesn't issue a search warrant, only would be direct that such female child below 18 years will be given in custody of her guardian or husband or parents, or if a female, a woman, she will be but restoration of her own liberty. And to comply such order, the court may also direct by using such force, that such order be complied by using such force as may be necessary. This is section 90. It is also in the it is also in the nature of restoration of a abducted female of a woman, female child. Now, general provisions related to such. So far, what are the general provisions when a search warrant is issued? Directs and etc. of search warrant, 99. The provisions of section 38, 70, 72. 38 means public to head by conducting search. 70, how search warrant in the what section 70, 72, 74, 77, 78, and 79. Shall so far as may be applied to all search warrants issued under section 93, search warrant 94, 95, and 96. What are those sections? You go through it. Section 38 provides the provisions of section 38. What section 38 provides? 38 means public to aid while execution of warrant. Section 38 says that public to give information of that is aid to person other than police officer executing warrant. When a warrant is directed to a person other than a police officer, when a search warrant is issued to a officer, to any person other than a police officer, any other person may aid in the execution of such warrant. If the person to whom the warrant is directed be near at hand and acting in the execution of the warrant. So this, in case of search warrant, this section 38 will be applicable. The provision of section 38 will all kinds of search warrants, all kinds of section 38 70, you know what is the provision section 70? 70 says how long the warrant will remain in force. Form of warrant of arrest and duration. Every warrant of arrest issued by a court under the code shall be in writing. So search warrant must be in writing, signed by the presiding officer. That must be signed by the presiding officer and shall be on the seal of the court. Writing, signed by the presiding officer, be on the court. Every such warrant shall remain in force until it is cancelled by the court which issued it or until it is executed. So now 72, what section 72? Warrant to whom directed? Then search warrant will be ordinarily directed to police. So a warrant of arrest shall ordinarily be directed to one or police officer. Similarly, search warrant may be ordinarily directed to one or more police officer. But the court issuing such warrant may, if it is immediate execution is necessary and no police officer is found, immediately available, direct it to any other person or person. So all those provisions in section 38, 70, 72, 74, 77, 77, 8 and 79 will be applicable, will apply to all such warrants issued as per section 93, that is when search warrant will be issued. 94, that is search for places suspected to contain objection to articles of stolen property. 95, that is so power to declare certain obligation forfeited. Also provisions will. Now section 100. What section 100 you must have thorough knowledge on section 100. When a search is to be conducted, what procedure is to be followed? Section 100 provides how a search is to be made, and the person who is in charge of the place, on demand of the person who is executing the search warrant, will allow his entry to that place. What section 100 says? Persons in charge of closed place allowed to allow search. But it provides, you see, whenever any place liable to search or inspection under this chapter is closed, the court has directed, the magistrate has directed that a place is to be searched. Whenever any place which is to be searched as per the provisions of the Criminal Procedure Code or inspection, that is closed. Any person residing in or being in charge of such place, so that place is closed. Any person is residing in that house or in charge of such place shall, on demand of the officer or other person executing the warrant, on demand of the officer, police officer, or any person executing warrant, and on production of the warrant, two things: on demand of that person who is executing the search warrant, and on showing that search warrant, production of search warrant, allow him free ingress thereto. That is, any person who is in charge of that place must allow that person executing search warrant to enter into that place and afford all reasonable facilities for a search hearing. Not only that, that person who is in charge of that place or who is residing in that place will also afford all facilities or search of that place. Now, subsection 1 section 100 says, whenever a place that is to be searched as per the search warrant that is closed, any person who is residing in that place or who is in charge of that place, on demand of the officer executing the search warrant and on production of the search warrant by him, must allow him free ingress, that is free entry into that place, and to afford all reasonable facilities for conduct. This is first. Second, if ingress into such place cannot be so obtained, that means on demand of the officer conducting such warrant, by executing such warrant, the person who is residing in that place or the person who is in charge of that place did not allow entry of that person for the purpose of conducting such. So in such case, the officer or other person executing the warrant may proceed in the manner provided by subsection 2 of section 47. What section 47 provides? that for entry into that place, the officer may break open the any door, etc. of that house to enter into that place. What section 47(2) we go through the provisions 47(2). What it says? If increase to such place or cannot be obtained under subsection 1, it shall be lawful in any case for a person acting under warrant and in case in which a warrant may issue, but cannot be obtained without affording the person to be arrested and opportunity of escape, or a police officer to enter such place and such therein, and in order to effect an entrance into such place, to break open any outer or inner door or window of any house. So this subsection 2 says, if entry to that place where the search is to be made is not allowed by the person who is in charge of that place or who is residing in that place, then the person, that the officer who is conducting search may break open any outer house, outer door, even also indoor, or his entry, and in executing the warrant. Third, where any person in or about such place is reasonably suspected of concealing about his person any article. Suppose a person is reasonable suspicion is there, he is concealing any article in his person. Suppose some ganja is to be recovered from a particular place, and that person is concealing that ganja in his person or inside his pant pocket. So in such case, personal search can be made. This subsection 3 says, where any person in or about to such place, in that place or about such place, at near such place, is reasonably suspected of concealing about his presence, any article for which search should be made, or any article if a search is made, he is concealing that article, then such person, in his person, then such person may be searched. And if such person is a woman, then body of such person will be searched. And if such person is a woman, the search shall be made by another woman with strict regard to decency. In such case, the body of the person of that woman will be searched by another woman, strict regard to the decency. Now, first, these three things you should understand. The person who executes the search warrant on his demand, if any person who is in charge of the place or who is residing in that place, and that place is closed, he will allow entry to that person to that place, and to offer reasonable facility for such. If entry is not allowed, the officer conducting search may break open the door, etc., and enter into that person. That officer can, if any article is also concealed by that person, then in such case that person may be searched. Now, subsection 4 is very important. Before making search, the officer will call at least 2 witnesses, respectable witnesses of the locality to witness this. If 2 respectable witnesses of the locality are not available, any other 2 persons may be called to witness the search. Then search is to be conducted in presence of at least 2 witnesses. What it says? Before making a search under this chapter, the officer or other person about to make it, the officer or another person about to make it shall call upon 2 or more independent and respectable inhabitants of the. That officer will call upon 2 independent, not his connected, 2 independent and respectable person of inhabitants of the locality in which the place to be searched is situated. Or of any other locality, if no such inhabitants of this locality, if no independent persons, no 2 or more independent persons of the locality where search is to be conducted are available, then any 2 or more independent person of the any other locality may be called upon to search the witness the search, to attend and witness the search, and may issue an order in writing to them or any of them. So the officer conducting search may also in writing ask those 2 independent persons of the locality, if those persons in the locality are not available, to other independent persons or other outside that locality, other locality may be called up by written order to witness the search. The search shall be made in their cases. Thereafter, a search shall be made in the presence of at least two or more independent witnesses of the locality. If such witnesses are not available in the locality, in the presence of two or more independent of the other than locality. If then the search shall be made in their presence, and a list of all things seized in the course of the search and of the places in which they are respectively found. The list of the articles which were found, which were seized, and from which place, the exact place from which such articles were found shall be prepared by such officer or other person and signed by such witness. That is called search list. That is a search shall be made in their presence, and a list of all things found and the place from which those things were found. Those facts must be mentioned in the search list prepared by such officer or other person, and such witness, two or more witnesses will sign. But no person witnessing a search under this section, person who is a witness to this search, shall be required to attend court unless he is called up, unless he has been summoned by the court for giving evidence. The occupation of the place searched or some person in his behalf shall in every instance be permitted to attend during the search. Now, subsection C says, the person who is in occupation of that house, who is residing in that house, who is the owner of the place which is to be searched, he must be remain present, he must be allowed, shall be in every instance, in every kind of search, be permitted to attend during the search. And a copy of the list prepared under this section, the search list, copy of the search and seizure list, signed by the said witness, shall be delivered to such occupant or person, that is, who is in occupation of that house or place. Then, when any person is searched, suppose the body of the person is searched, under subsection 3, a list of all things taken possession of shall be prepared. Whatever things are found from his person, the list of such things shall be prepared, and a copy of thereof shall be delivered to such person. Then subsection 8 says, any person who without reasonable cause refuses or neglects to attend and witness a search, it must be aware of this provision. Very important provision, but it is never followed. Suppose two or more persons of the locality will be called upon to witness this search. If such witnesses are not able, in the two or more persons of any other locality will be called upon to witness this search, the police officer or the officer conducting this search may request such witnesses in writing to witness this search. If any person refuses to attend, then he is liable for committing an offence on section 187 of the Indian Penal Code. Such provision is there in section 8. Any person who without reasonable cause refuses or neglects to attend and witness a search, the person was called upon to witness this search, suppose that person has an urgent work, he may take exclusion to work. But any person who without reasonable cause refuses or neglects to attend and witness a search under this section, when called upon to do so by an order in writing, is there, he refuses or neglects to attend the appear or to remain present for the search, or delivered or in writing tender or delivered to him, shall be deemed to have committed an offence under section 187 of the India. That is, what is section 187? You are now, that is, a public servant refusing to, that is 187, omission to assist public servant who is bound by law to give such assistance. That is section 187. That is punishable simply imprisonment for 1 month or fine of 200 rupees or both. So, any person who has been asked in writing by the officer conducting search to witness this search, if without reasonable cause, reasonable ground, he refuses or neglects to witness, remain present for the purpose of search, then it is to be deemed, in sense of order has been passed, given to him in writing or tendered to him in writing, then it shall be deemed that he has committed an offence punishable under section 187 of the Indian Penal Code. Now section 101, disposal of things found in search beyond jurisdiction. Suppose beyond jurisdiction of the court something, if the search was conducted and anything was found, in such case? What will happen? So when in the execution of a search warrant at any place beyond the local jurisdiction of the court, which is should be said, beyond the local jurisdiction of the court, there was a search and anything is found. Any of the thing for which search is made are found, such thing together with the list of the said, such thing together with the list of those things for which search is made, the search is made with the list of the same prepared under the provision of hereinafter contained shall be immediately taken before a court issuing the search. That will be taken immediately before the court which is unless such place is near to the magistrate having jurisdiction therein than to search. If any other magistrate having jurisdiction, then that thing will be taken to before that magistrate, in which case the list and things shall be immediately taken before such magistrate. And unless there be good cause to be contrary, then such magistrate shall make an order authorizing them to be taken to search. And the magistrate will also direct that such thing will be taken to the court which should be served. Now, there is a miscellaneous provision. What is? Power of police officer to seize certain things. Apart from that, this section 102 empowers a police officer to seize certain things wherever he finds such things. Suppose a police officer, while conducting a patrol duty, finds an unclaimed article or unclaimed motorcycle or unclaimed property. What will do? It will leave it and come up? No. Such a provision, section 102 gives power. 102 gives power to the police officer to make seizure of such things. What section provides? Power of police officer to seize certain property. Any police officer may seize any property which may be alleged or suspected to have been stolen. First, any police officer may seize any property which is alleged to be stolen property, or there is a suspected to be stolen, or which may be found under circumstances which create suspicion of the commission of any offence. So, case is not registered. Whenever a police officer finds any property which is alleged to be or suspected property which is under the circumstance which creates a doubt, which creates a suspicion that any offence has been committed in respect of that property, in such case, the police officer, any police officer, may seize that property. So what is said? Any police officer may seize, and suppose while doing patrol duty, the police officer found a gold necklace. So you will suspect that an offence might have been committed in respect of that property. So he will not leave that property there. Then he will seize that property as per by exercising powers on section 102 of the Criminal Procedure Code. What he says? Any police officer may seize any property which may be alleged to be stolen, or suspect to be stolen, or suspected to be in respect of that property some offence has been, in some circumstances such offence might have been committed. Second, such police officer, if subordinate to the officer in charge of police station, shall go to report the seizure to that officer. Suppose a sub-inspector of police seizes that article, seizes that property. He will immediately report the fact of such seizure to the officer in charge of the police station. What they say, such police officer is subordinate to the officer in charge of the police station. If a subordinate police officer seizes that, he shall appropriately report the seizure to the officer in charge of the police station. Every police officer acting under subsection 1 means when a police officer seizes any property which is suspected to be stolen, alleged to be a stolen property, or found under circumstances in respect of which there is suspicion that offence has been committed. Every police officer acting under subsection 1 shall forthwith report the seizure to the magistrate having jurisdiction. Once a seizure has been made, that will be reported to the magistrate having jurisdiction over the locality. And where the property seized is so that it cannot be conveniently transferred to the court. The property cannot be conveniently transferred to the court, or where there is difficulty in securing proper accommodation. Suppose it is such a huge quantity of property that cannot be kept, the proper accommodation is not available in the court, in the property in police station. Police custody may not be considered necessary for the purpose of ignition. Suppose it is not necessary for the purpose of ignition. He may give custody thereof to any person on his executing. In such case, that property may be given in custody or jima of any other person, or taking a bond, undertaking to produce the property before the court as and when required, and to give effect to the further order of the court as to the dispute. Taking a bond, that property will be left in jima of somebody, and on condition that he produce that property before the court whenever required, and also to give effect to the further order even if we pass for disposal of that. Provide that where the property is seized under subsection 2 is subject to speedy and natural. So the property which has been seized that is subject to speedy and natural decay, and if the person entitled to the possession of such property is unknown. So the person who is entitled for that property is unknown or absent, and the value of such property is less than 500 rupees. It is very, this 500 rupees, it may forthwith be sold by auction. Suppose that perishable and subject speedy and natural decay, and the property who the owner is not known or he is absent, and the value of the property is less than 500, that will be sold under the orders of the superintendent and under the orders of the SP of the police. And the provision of section 457 for it shall as nearly as may be practical apply to the net proceeds of such. That will be informed to the court. Magistrate may direct search in his presence. This section 103, what is states. Any magistrate may direct a search to be made in his presence on any place, for the search of which he is competent to issue a search warrant. Such a provision is never followed, because magistrate doesn't take the burden, take the header to remain present at the time of search. But such a power is given to the magistrate. Any magistrate may direct a search to be made in his presence of any place, for the search of which he is competent to issue. Magistrate may direct that in his presence such a search is. Power to impound documents, etc., produced, any court may, if it thinks fit, any court may, if it thinks fit, impound any document or thing produced before it under this court. Impound means what? Confine. That is, keep that property and not allow it to be released. Impound such document or thing as it thinks fit. Now, section 105 and 105. This is 105 is a reciprocal arrangement. What is reciprocal arrangement regarding process? Reciprocal arrangement means to a place to which criminal procedure code is not applicable. Then, if any search warrant is issued by that court, or if any search warrant is issued from any court to which this criminal procedure is applicable, some reciprocal arrangement has been made. What is said? Where a court in the territory to which this court extends, that means a court to which the criminal procedure is desires that a summons to an accused person or a warrant for the arrest of an accused person, a summons to any person requiring him to attend and produce a document or other thing, a search warrant issued by it shall be served or executed at any place. At any place. Within the local jurisdiction of a court in any state or area in India outside the state territories. Outside the state territory means, state territories means that is outside, it may send such summons, warrant in duplicate by post or authorized to the presiding officer, to which place this is not applicable, to be served or executed. And where any summons referred to in clause A or clause C has been so served, the provision of section 68 shall apply in relation to such summons as if the presiding officer of the court to whom it is served were a magistrate in the said territory. Said territory. Said territory means that is That is the territory to which the civil code, the criminal procedure code is not applicable. In any country or place outside India, in respect to which arrangement have been made by any central government, with the government, such country, or place for service or execution of summons or warrants in relation to criminal matter. Herein after the said section, the contracting state, it may send such summons or warrant in duplicate in such form direct to such court magistrate and send to such authority and transmission at the central government by notification. Where a court in the state territories has received for service of execution, then a summons to an accused person, warrant for arrest of accused person, summons to any person requiring to attend any person, or such warrant issued by a court in state or India outside the state territory. A court, judge, or magistrate in what is herein in this case referred to as the state territory. State territory means what? Section 105 says where a court in the territory to which this code extends. That is herein after to be referred as state territory. State territory means the court to which this criminal procedure code is applicable. In such case, where a court in the state territory means the court to which the criminal procedure code is applicable has received for service of execution a summons to an accused person, a warrant for the arrest of an accused person, a summons to any person requiring him to attend and produce a document, a search warrant issued a court in a state or area in India outside the state territories, a court or judge or magistrate in contracting state. So in such case, it shall cause the same to be solved. Reciprocal arrangement means there is arrangement between the court to which the criminal procedure code is applicable and the court to which the criminal procedure code is not applicable, even within India or outside India. In such case, the summons, warrants, etc., if received from the other courts, that will be executed in the same manner. As if that is the warrants, warrant, etc., of this court. It shall cause the same to be sought or executed as if it were a summons or warrant received by it from another. In the same territory, for state territory means to which this court, this criminal procedure code is applicable for service or execution within the. That is, and where a warrant of arrest has been executed, the person arrested shall, as far as possible, be dealt with in accordance with proceedings prescribed by section 80. Which was such provisions will be followed. A search warrant has been executed, the things found in the search shall, so far as possible, be dealt with in accordance with the procedure prescribed in section. That means, this is reciprocal arrangement, means what? The arrangement has been made between the court to which the criminal procedure code is applicable and the court to which this criminal procedure code is applicable either in India or outside India. How the summons, warrants are to be executed by both the courts, reciprocal arrangement. These court summons, warrants, etc. are to be executed in the court, and any summons, warrants, etc. received by the court to which this criminal procedure code is applicable, that will be executed in the same manner as provided in the criminal procedure. This is reciprocal. So there is a separate chapter, that is chapter 7a, reciprocal arrangement for assistance in certain matters and procedure for attachment and forfeiture of property. This has been included by of amendment. In the next class, we will discuss about this. Thank you all.